Well, in 1934, notorious gangster John Dillinger escaped from a prison in Crown Point, Indiana. He stole the sheriff's personal police car and fled to Chicago, where he later abandoned it. Over the years, people have tried to track down the car. Their efforts paid off, and as Holden Abshir reports, this past weekend the car was returned to Crown Point.
Exactly 87 years and 1 month to the day, the sheriff's car John Dillinger stole in a 1934 jailbreak returned to Crown Point, Indiana. Dillinger's relatives and officers from the sheriff's department joined the crowds of people to watch as Mark Love and Josh Gates drove the 1933 Ford V8 through the town square and down Main Street.
The Dillinger story is big for us here. So we were here when they were filming the movie about 15 years ago now, 16 years ago. So we wanted to come back and see the car.
Dillinger was at the Lake County Jail while he was awaiting trial for the murder of East Chicago police officer William Patrick O'Malley. At the time, the jail was said to be the most secure in Indiana, but Dillinger managed to get out using only a wooden gun.
When you look at the actual jail and you look at what he did to get out, I mean, it was just an amazing thing. And you always hear about how charismatic he was, and for him to break out with a fake gun, the whole story is just very cool.
U.S. Justice Department records show that Dillinger held several officers and inmates hostage in his first-floor cell block before making his way out the building.
In 1934, historic gangster John Dillinger broke out of the Lake County Jail and stole a sheriff's car and moved straight up Main Street and drove all the way to Chicago.
After Dillinger died in a shootout with the FBI on July 22, 1934 in Chicago, local police confiscated the car and later auctioned it.
A gentleman from Milwaukee acquired the car. He didn't know what the car was. He relocated to Maine. Decades later, he succumbed, he died.
But before he died, the man purchased a 10-year plate for the car. And that's exactly what helped Dillinger enthusiast Mark Love find it. He'd been searching for the car for nearly 3 decades when he eventually tracked it down using DMV records. If Love had waited another few years, the car could have been lost to history.
We were very fortunate to be able to locate the car. So it went from Milwaukee to Maine to Arizona, where Mark lives, back here for this event.
Love restored the car and he drove it in the parade on Saturday. He planned the route, retracing Dillinger's exact path where he escaped.
When he escaped his jail, he went north on Main Street, turned left on 93rd. Our police procession here came on 93rd in the direct route where Dillinger escaped.
With the exception of the front seat, almost all of the car's original features are still intact, including the lights, sirens, and wiper blades. Organizers say they're still looking for a permanent location for the car, but they know where it should be.
We're negotiating a place right now for it to be held here in Crown Point. This is the place for this car to be. So we are negotiating for a place so people can view the car and see some of the information, Lily and Holly, and obviously Dillinger elements.
The car will also be used across the country at events to honor Holly and law enforcement. Any money that's raised will benefit the nonprofit group Concerns of Police Survivors, which is dedicated to assisting law enforcement families. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Holden Abshir.